Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to the channel. You don't know it's a boy SAE. Bless upon yourself and thank you all for tuning in to this one. So what I really want to share with you guys today, guys, is Tony Gray really outline what West Indies need to do to beat Australia in the remaining tests, where he's saying that the West Indies only firepower in the arsenal is the fast bowlers. He's not too confident in the batters, but he thinks that the fast bowlers are where the match lies. Based on the previous performances, guys, in the first test, he believes that the quicks are the one that's holding the trump card for West Indies to beat Australia. If they can come to the party really well, then West Indies have a chance of making the Australia uncomfortable in the second series and fourth. But we're gonna fill you in on the details of what he said. But before we do so though, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell to be the first alerted whenever a new video is uploaded. And don't forget to drop a like and leave your honest thoughts in the comment section down below. So without further ado, people, let's dive right into the details. Gray backed West Indies quicks make Aussie uncomfortable. My wonderful people, former West Indies fast bowler Tony Gray believes the regional team has a realistic shot at leveling the three-match test series against Australia in the second fixture bowls off at the National Cricket Stadium in Grenada today, right? He said they must stick to a proven formula of sharp fast bowling, good length and lines, backed by discipline, execution, and pitch awareness, which will keep the Aussie batsmen uncomfortable. Gray believes Australia's batting lineup is most vulnerable when facing shorter fast bowlers who bowl directly at the stumps or just outside of stump, denying them width and bounce, which they often exploit. Some people, Tony Gray is basically outlining what the West Indies need to do in order to get the better of Australia in the second test, which is currently going. I think the West Indies bowl them out for 280 yard, guys, something like that, guys. I just briefly saw the score, but he's saying that the only way West Indies can beat Australia is if the bowlers can fire, because he's not really trusting the West Indies batting right about now. He's mainly saying that it's the bowling that's the fears and the firepower behind it. The batting is not hit right about now. But if the West Indies can get the bowling clicking, then they have a chance of beating Australia. But let's continue. There's a template of success, said Gray. It's about taking them out of their comfort zone. They're accustomed to facing taller bowlers at home, domestic cricket, like Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins, Josh Hazlewood, and Cameron Green. But when shorter pacers like Kemar Roach, Shamar Joseph, and even Jaden Seals come at them straight, hitting the stumps or close to the wicket, they struggle. Gray referred Roach man of the match, a performance claiming 10 wickets across 2 innings against Australia at Queen's Park Oval in 2012, a match where Gray, was an adjudicator. Right? He also highlighted Shamar Joseph's stellar breakout 7 for 68 performance against the Aussies in early 2024 and Rabada's South African outstanding 5 for 51 against them in earlier June 2025 in the World Test Championship final. Right, my people? So, additionally, he reflected on the just concluded first test at Kensington Oval in Barbados, where, despite the Windies suffering defeat by 159 runs, my people, the Maroons Quicks captured 19 of the 20 Aussie wickets in the first innings. Seals 5 for 60, Shamar Joseph 4 for 46, and Justin Greaves 1 for 26 at Australia, all out for a low 180 runs in under 57 overs, even with 6 drop catches. In the second inning, Shamar Joseph 5 for 87 led the charge, backed by fellow Pacers Alzari Joseph 2 for 65, Greaves 1 for 55, and Seals 1 for 70. Skipper Rastan Chase got 1 wicket. You understand, was the only spinner to grab a wicket. And people, if you guys following up a lot, you might see in the channel where I give you guys my potential playing level, and I talk about Jamel Warrican, he's not fit into the West Indies squad. If you're playing on a pitch similar to what you got in Barbados, a lot of people weren't pleased with it, but you guys can see the logic behind it, because you can see the second test, Darren Sammy had dropped him and bring in an extra pacer. In my opinion, I thought that I would have given the youngster Kevlin Anderson an opportunity, but Anderson Phillips have proved his worth with picking up the wicket of Kantas this time around. So, in sense, it go both ways, but his opinion and my opinion is different. But I just like the young player Kevlin Anderson. So you might hear me calling for him a lot. I just like the way this man go about his innings. You understand? So, let's continue. Gray said the Kensington pitch for the first test was a prime example of how inconsistent bonks and tight lines work to the West Indies' advantage. It's about the fast bowlers bowling wicket to wicket. That's what took the edge off the Aussie batters. They like width, they like bonks. When you deny that and you have conditions with lateral and inconsistent movement, they become uncomfortable. Despite the first test loss, Gray praised the Windies bowling unit for a really good effort, especially with a fast man dominating the proceeding. Spin bowler and vice captain Jamel Warrican bowled just 8 overs in the entire match, a testament to how helpful the conditions were for the Pacers. Gray said Alzari Joseph's natural bonks and length play into the Australian strengths. He said Alzari doesn't get the volume of wickets because his length allows that comfortable bonks. The key for West Indies, according to Gray, is maximizing the strength of the personnel available, as echoed by current bowling coach Ravi Rampal. When you are playing test cricket, you are not only playing your opponent, you are playing the conditions, and in that first test, those conditions were tailor-made for fast bowlers. With the second test looming are currently going on, Gray is hopeful that West Indies can replicate their bowling discipline and select the right attack. Let's see what happens in the rest of the series. He said the blueprint is there. Gray's promising playing career was plagued by injuries, and he only played 5 test matches for West Indies back in the early 90s. However, he was devastating in his prime and snared an impressive 6 for 50 against the Aussies at home at the Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad. A match Australia still went on to win by 45 runs. Some people, Tony Gray basically outlining what West Indies need to do to beat Australia in the second test, or continue towards the remaining of the test series, and so far, based on the test match that we just witnessed, or the day one of the first match, we have seen that the West Indies fast bowling has really strengthened with Anderson Phillips came in, guys, and add a little boost to the team. But just a pity that we let them score more than what I would have wanted. But nevertheless, guys, I think West Indies batters have to come prove themselves tomorrow morning and see if they can really track down that total. I watched the match between England and India, and I'm really amazed at the way Shubman Gill is doing his thing. I wish West Indies could have a competent batter like him in the team. The team would have rise, guys, but that's a different story. But honestly, people, just leave your honest thoughts down below. Bless up on yourself. All right, big up.